I'm not sure if you will believe me, but I'm happy. It's finally over. And because transfer market is over since 36 hours, I keep my promise. We will rate the Mercato. Let's talk about the work of Cristiano Giuntoli. Let's talk about the entry-exit Mercato of Juventus Football Club. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I told you I'm extremely happy it's over. Something totally strange to say on a football channel, because you know it, Mercato goes totally crazy. Here also on the channel, it's a big boost with a lot of curious people that are starting to follow the channel because they like it, they stay, they become loyal. We have more views, we have more likes, more shares of the videos. But I'm happy it's over because I'm totally exhausted. Mamma mia, what a transfer market. It was a disaster. So many names. I never commented so many names in such a short period of time. Usually, I'm used to do it in the month of May, June, intensifying in July, August, maybe sometimes a bit of September, depending when it's over. But everything in 1 month, mamma mia. Never. Honestly, never. So I'm happy it's over. I'm tired, guys. Now, the Mercato. We will rate it, I promised you, but I'm extremely happy that I didn't record a video yesterday. Because honestly, if I would have recorded a video yesterday, it would probably not be a fair video. I was so pissed off, I was so angry, I was not happy at all. But it would have been a video only with emotions. Not happy about this, about this, about this, about this, about this. Also because I'm tired, so I slept, I thought about it, I took much more information to have a complete fair judgment. Does that mean that I'm happy with the Mercato? Because I thought about it and because I had more information? No, I'm not happy. Not at all. I am not happy, and you will see it with my final rating. I want to go towards 4 topics. Is the mission complete? Yes or no? 2, the timing of the arrivals. 3, the image that it leaves. And 4, the quality of the players. From these 4 topics, I will give you my final rating. So put a maximum of like. If you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe. But first we start in making things simple. 3 questions. Let's answer them. First of all, were we obliged to go on the market? Because in the winter, nobody obliged you to go on the market. Real Madrid, for example, never goes or rarely goes on the winter market. Inter, just 1 player, that's it. You are not obliged to go. It's called Mercato di Riparazione, which means the Mercato to adjust, to solve a few things. Were we obliged? Yes, we were. Bremer, Cabal, injured. We were missing already Vice Vlahovic, so we were obliged to go. Second question, was there money available for the transfer market of the winter? Because, guys, it's easy to do a transfer market when you have 200, 300 million to spend. I remember a few seasons ago, winter Mercato of Chelsea, that was totally crazy. Did it help? No, it didn't help Chelsea at that moment. Did we have money? No, we had a bit. Forecasted, planned, budgeted for an offensive player. But in the meanwhile, a lot of things happened that changed totally the plans. Third question, were there big offers in the exit Mercato of Juve? Because you know it, we heard a lot of voices. Cambiaso, first of all. Vlahovic as well. We even heard about Douglas Luiz. These 3 players are still at Juventus, which means that there was some interest, but the offer never arrived. By consequence, the money didn't arrive, because with that money, probably you had more money to spend on the transfer market. So 3 big questions that we answered. Before going into detail in the 4 topics, I really want to go with the biggest mistakes of Juve. What I blame really Juve the most. 3 things. The first one, not having a defender on the 2nd of January in front of the J Medical. Okay, I will be kind. If it was not on the 2nd of January, it should have been on the 7th of January, after the Riyadh Supercoppa. We didn't see these defenders. We had to wait way longer to have them. And I'm pissed off with that. Honestly, I tell you, I am pissed off with that. I'm not happy. Secondly, on top of that, if you decide by yourself to put Danilo out already at the end of December, saying he's not part of the team anymore, he will train isolated, he will go in a way or in another, and if not, he will not participate anymore with the training session, with the games. Guys, you are taking your responsibility. You are accountable for what could possibly happen, which means that you obliged actually Kalulu and Gatti to play every single game as center back, game in, game out, game in, game out, without any rest. Which by consequence, at a certain moment, bad luck, maybe, it happens that Kalulu got injured. So we will never know if Danilo could have played there and giving some rest to Kalulu if we would not have been injured. We will never know. We will also never know if a player arrived on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th of January and could have rested these players in Serie A because he couldn't play in Champions League, if maybe Kalulu and Gatti would have been more fit without injury. Now, the result is Gatti is totally dead. He has no energy anymore. And on the other side, Kalulu is probably out for 1 month. You need to take your responsibility on that. I blame Juventus on that decision. Could you sell Danilo still? Yes, you could sell him on the 29th of January. Maybe. Or the 15th if you already did your job with defenders. And the third one is, and probably the biggest one that not a lot of people are speaking about, I blame Juventus, Cristiano Giuntoli, to lose a lot of time on impossible deals. Seriously, on impossible deals. Because if you want to go for Araujo, that money needs to be there. That money never arrived from Cambiaso, from Vlahovic, also from the other ones that were on the exit list at that time. We were speaking about Danilo, about Arthur, about Fagioli, probably about Mbangula, probably about Rui. I don't know what players were there in that exit list in the beginning of the Mercato. On that moment when we are linked to Araujo, these names are not there. You lost a lot of time there on Todibo. Not only one time, but also 2 times. You go back after that change of coach. In the beginning, with Fonseca, maybe there was an opportunity. After that, with Conceição, there was no opportunity anymore. So you lost a lot of time there. You lost a lot of time on other players like Todibo, which we always said here on the channel, ragazzi, it is impossible. He's not even a permanent player from West Ham. How will he come in your club? I don't know how you will make that real. I always said, let's see. But we lost so many times on a lot of players. On Danso, on this. We lost a lot of time, which is not good. Impossible deals that we knew would have been extremely difficult and impossible. And Juventus went for it. And at the end, you have an image consequence. I will tell you. So let's start with the ratings on the 4 different topics. First of all, mission complete for Juve. Well, what was the mission? Without money. The mission was to fill the gaps. If you are looking at the first team of Juve before transfer Mercato is open, we see clearly, without mentioning all the names, that we have a huge problem in defense. Also because Danilo was already player out of the Mercato on the 1st of January. He was out of the team. So you have 2 center defenders. You have Cambiaso and Rui on the left. You have only Savona on the right. You have a huge problem because you are obliged to adapt a Weston McKennie, a Weah, left back, right back. You are sometimes even obliged to put a Locatelli as a center back. A total disaster there. On top of that, you don't have a Vice Vlahovic obliging sometimes Weah, sometimes Nico Gonzalez to play as a false 9. Were we able to fill the gaps? Yes, if you are looking at the state of Juventus now, today, where we have 2 right backs, Savona, Alberto, Costa, 2 left backs, Cambiaso, that stayed, and Rui, you have 4 center backs when Kalulu will be back from injury. Kelly, Veiga, Kalulu, Gatti. On top of that, you have a second striker that can play with Vlahovic, but especially instead of Vlahovic, with that rotation that will benefit all of them, and they'll also create some competition. So, can we speak about roles filled? Yes. What about the finances? Well, the finances, actually, with the money that you had that time at disposal, well, we actually managed to bring in 4 players with different formulas. 2 players on loan, without option, without obligation. 2 players that you signed permanently. Probably would have loved Juventini to have the 2 players on loan permanently and the 2 players that we signed actually on loan. It's not the case. It is what it is, but if you are looking at what we spent, 12.5 for Alberto Costa, 17.5 for Kelly, the loans, let's say 6 and 6 or 5.5 and 5.5 for Kolo, Muani and Renato, Veiga, you are saving a lot on salary, the one of Arthur, the one of Danilo, you save on the salary of Fagioli, and on top of that you have a fixed obligation of Fagioli that will go towards 90 million euro. So actually with all the money that you saved on salary, on this, on that, with the budget that you had allocated, probably between 30 and 40 million euro for one player, an offensive player, you were able to fill all the gaps. And that's okay. So how much do I want to rate mission complete financially and with the roles filled? I want to rate, and that will be the only beautiful rating, I think, 7 on 10. That's my first rating, mission complete, roles and finances. Second thing, the timing. And here I want to put a 4 on 10. He will tell me, bad timing. You have a 29th of January Kalulu that is injured. Hey, you have no defenders. When do you sign your players? Alberto Costa, you sign him on the 15th of January. 27th of January, Veiga. And Kelly, that still has problems with his visa, you signed him on the 3rd of February. How can you please put a number 4 on 10? It's easy, because I understood really fast that Juventus had that sense of urgency on the defenders Mercato. They went for the players. Every day we were speaking about defenders. Every day we saw Juventus trying. Then I told you, I was not happy because we lost time. But the sense of urgency was there. But at the end, did the rivals come on time? No. So a 4 on 10 in terms of timing, which annoyed me a lot. And all the consequences that we had in a January full of games where some players there would have helped the cause. 3. And that's my lowest rating. 2 on 10 for the image that it leaves. A total disaster. You will tell me, what do you mean image, Beppe? Look at all the names linked to Juve. Hansko, Tomori, Araujo, Todibo, Danso, Goglicice, Antonio Silva, Christensen, Barcelona, Christensen, Udinese, Disasi, Lukumi, De Ligt for a few days, Ismaili, Skriniar, Dragujin, Badiashil, and much more. Here we arrive at 16 players, and I even forgot some center backs. If you remember them, let me know in the comment section. It's a lot of players, but especially the one that you are missing, Araujo. We went publicly for that player, really publicly, and we failed. And we see then Araujo going with an extension of contract at Barcelona. This is not beautiful for your image. Antonio Silva with Jorge Mendes that is publicly saying the player wants Juve, Juve wants the player. Publicly, he said it, and you're not able to bring the player. Hansko that you push. Gimenez go to Milan, Feyenoord doesn't give you Hansko. So there are a lot of things, and much more than that, guys, that are absolutely not beautiful for your image. The image was not beautiful. Also, if we are speaking honestly about players that we are going and signing, regardless of the quality, we are signing a player that was not playing at Chelsea on loan, which means that if he's doing well, you need to give him back to Chelsea. You promoted the player, you give him even more value because he's able to play in a club like Juve as a starter and doing well. Kolo Muani is on loan at the moment, let's see in the future. But it's really problematic. And then again, I told you, we go with Renato Veiga. He was not playing with Chelsea. The other one, Kelly, is not playing with Newcastle, goes on a free transfer from Bournemouth to Newcastle, and then you go for him for 18 million euro. It's a lot of money, guys, for a player that they took for free and was not even playing. So the image is really bad. And on top of that, you have to go also with Nicolo Fagioli, that is leaving Juve. Look, Nicolo Fagioli was a fan favorite, Italian player, youth academy product, and probably that's where we are going toward, that youth academy next-gen project that is really put into doubt from a lot of Juventini, especially if we go back to 2 years ago, where you had Arrivabene and Cherubini that were presenting a special meeting to present the next-gen project with Sule, with Miretti, with Fagioli. We all remember that meeting. We did a video about it where we really believed in it, and they are all gone. One on loan, one went to Roma, one went now to Fiorentina, to Italian clubs. Now, is it a drama? Is all the project in cause? No, I would not be that excessive, because at the end we still have 4 players from the next gen in the first team. Some are playing more, some are playing less. On the other side, who did we sell? 25 million for Solé, 14 million for Ealing Jr., Barrenechea 8 million, 7 million for Caio Jorge, and Nicolucci 3.5. Not a lot of these players that I just mentioned are really doing well with their club. So all bad decision from Juve? No, because if they are not playing with Aston Villa, if they are not playing with Bologna, if they are not playing at Roma, probably they would not have had the standard to play at Juve. Of course, we can speak about Fagioli. Let's discover if mentally this will help him, but mentally he was totally lost at Juve. I think that it was the right choice for Juve to stop the relation with Fagioli. I also think that it was the right choice for Fagioli to stop with Juve. And on the other side, Huijsen, that is probably today the biggest regret of Juve. Not that much because we sold him, but especially for the amount that we sold him. So image-wise, it's not a beautiful one. It's absolutely not a beautiful one. What about the quality? And I rate it 2 on 10. So I recap: 7 on 10 for Mission Complete, Finances and Rosefield, 4 on 10 for the timing, 2 on 10 for the image that it leaves, and then I go with the quality. Well, the quality is extremely difficult to judge today. I want to rate it a 6 on 10. I start with Kolo Muani. Guys, since Tevez, we didn't see a player that started his debut with 2 goals in 2 games, and he even did better with 3 goals in 2 games. A player that looks like he's made for Thiago Motta. I always told you that the love of Thiago Motta for Kalimuendo. Well, we were able in that transfer market to go for the upgrade of Kalimuendo, the player that was already ready with a lot of experience, played a final of the World Cup. Kolo Muani, that's a huge, big opportunity. I think that we cannot look aside. We cannot close an eye on that deal. That is, according to me, a fantastic one for the remaining part of the season to also elevate and create competition with Dusan Vlahovic. Let's see the future, but I think that for these months, it will be extremely crucial. Alberto Costa, honestly, I have absolutely no idea. They're telling me good things about him. Also, the training session of yesterday, he impressed a lot of people that were there, but it's a potential player. Veiga, well, the first game against Empoli was good, but I have no idea how he will play against Empoli. I have no idea about the serious games on paper, PSV, Inter, PSV, and the other games. So, big question about Veiga. A lot of people told me, Beppe, he's a good player, but there were so many at Chelsea that he didn't find the space. Let's see. And then about Kelly. Guys, Kelly is paying the price of one thing. And I am the first one to be accountable on that. I made my mistake as well. Mistake, I don't know. Kelly is not the first name on the list. And nobody will tell me today that Kelly was the first name on the list. He has been observed by Giuntoli at the past when he was at Bournemouth, maybe. But if really that was the name that you wanted, you could have gone for him on the 2nd of January. On the 10th of January. Not on the 2nd of February and actually announcing him on the 3rd of February. Because then I don't believe it anymore. That is your first choice. If really that was the player, you say, okay, bring at Juve. Okay, that's the player. If you have Araujo and you put again Kelly away, if you have that player and you put again Kelly away, it's absolutely not your first choice. So I, of course, doubt about that priority name that is Kelly. Now, on the other side, if you're looking at quality, I cannot take aside the fact that we went with 2 left-foot defenders with different skills. One that is extremely good with ball, one that is great with some qualities that were missing in the team. The other one that is a bit more huge, a bit more physical, a bit more man-marking. So 2 different players, left foot, which we were looking for already in the summer. So I want to give it a 6. A 6 on the potential, taking into account characteristics and take into account especially a Kolo Muani. Much more than a 6? No. A total rating after these 4 votes, if you already made a calculation, maybe, but that goes towards a 19 on 40, and if we translate it on 10, it's a 4.75 on 10, which is, according to me, 4.75 on 10 is below average. It's not even the minimal that you can have with a 5 on 10. I finished that video with what could increase potentially the rating that I gave. I gave a 4.75, but we know Mercato is crazy, but also what is the most important is not the names that are linked to you or the names that are there in your team, like Milan, for example, with Gimenez, Walker, Bondo, Sotil, Joao Felix, Walker. It's a lot of players that they went and you say, Mamma mia, the Mercato of Milan is fantastic. No, that Mercato could change. If at least 3 of the 4 names that we signed are performing in a really great way, I think that the quality there will increase. And then on top, what nobody is speaking about, but the future strategy, a hidden future strategy could even increase that one. Because who says that Kelly is an open door, a sliding door for a potential Tonali in the summer? You have the contact with Newcastle. They are happy. You probably paid a bit more for Kelly as an anticipation for a Tonali. Then that Kelly signing, if he performs well and that opens you the door for Tonali, then you start evaluating it in a totally different way. What about Fagioli? If it's a first open door for a possible Comuzzo, 19 years old, strong defender, that's a different story. If Kolo Muani brings you Kolo Muani, it's a different story. What am I saying with that? That at the moment it's a loan, without option, without obligation. But if the player is feeling well, if he's doing well, if Juventus is serious about the player wants to stay and refusing all the other maybe it can be the open door to a permanent signing or a new loan for Kolo. You need that time for an entire year. What about Veiga? If Veiga is a momentary signing to arrive with Hansko, that you will already have the promise to bring him already with you with the Club World Cup. Could be. What if, all in all, that offer from Manchester City never arrived, but that means that Cambiaso, if recuperated mentally, could even stay longer than only 6 months. And then, of course, that 4.75 will increase. Ragazzi, that was my video. That was my rating, a bad one. Tell me yours. How do you rate the Mercato of Giuntoli, the Mercato of Juve? Let me know in the comment section. Grazie, forza, Juve.